if you're feeling like there needs to be a change in your life, or you feel like you feel stuck, or it's just something that's been in the back of your head, do it. You won't regret it. And I always try to remind myself, especially at the beginning, I can always go back. It's going to be kind of a pain to figure it out, but I can always, always, always go back. So
welcome to Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff, where we interview newsmakers, storytellers, and all-around interesting people. Sit back, relax, unless you're driving, and enjoy the show. Here's Jackson.
Hello. I am Jackson Huff. This is Not in a Huff. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, really appreciate it. This week, speaking with Mercedes. Now, Mercedes is a social media influencer, a content creator, whatever you want to call it. She is somebody who posts reels online, both on TikTok and Instagram. The first thing I've got to say is she changed her name since we spoke. So in this interview, she'll talk about a different name. We're even going to joke about it because it included the word wandering, the W-A instead of the W-O, wandering instead of wondering. So we got a little grammar nerdy for a second, but it's not the name at all anymore. The name of her page now is It's Mercedes Anna is what I would assume. It's Mercedes ITS. It's Mercedes MERCEDESANA. So it's changed a little bit. So when we shout it out, don't be alarmed if you're looking for it during the conversation and you can't find it. It's ItsMercedesAna is the name now. But really, really cool conversation. The perspective that she comes at social media is talking about cultural differences from somebody who grew up with American heritage, but also Spanish heritage. And when I say Spanish, I mean Spain. She is somebody who grew up on the East Coast, but then a few years ago, she decided to head to Spain, and that's where she lives now. So she posts things about looking relatively American, but being able to speak Spanish. She talks about the differences in Spanish culture versus American culture, kind of the silly things on, we eat at 5 p.m. and they eat at 9 p.m. So just cool videos to talk about those differences, but some that are a little bit more impactful to talk about kind of the mindset and the insecurities she had growing up living with two different cultures. So I think you're going to really enjoy this conversation. Mercedes is a really awesome person to talk to. Yeah, I urge you to check out all of her social media when you're done listening. Remember, it's changed a little bit, but those links will be in the show notes. If this is your first time listening and you haven't already, go follow along on Instagram, on TikTok, Not Enough Podcast, Not Enough Jackson Huff on Facebook, Not Enough Podcast on YouTube. Really appreciate all that. Go leave a 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify. That helps a ton. Leave a written review on Apple and Spotify. Helps even more. But without further ado, here is Mercedes. How are you, Mercedes?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hardest question of the whole evening. Just introduce yourself.
I'm Mercedes. I live in Madrid, Spain. I moved from Boston 2 years ago, but I'm half American, half Spanish. And yeah, I'm now a social media influencer, I guess you can call me. I do social media management for brands. I do UGC. So kind of doing all different specs of marketing, I guess you can call me.
Yeah, and I want to kind of get into your world of influencing it here in a minute, but I want to stop at that move. You moved to Spain, you said 2 years ago. You've got a background, I think, with your family that's already has some Spanish heritage, but I guess what created that move? That's a big step. Was it scary?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was so my mom's Spanish. My dad's from Rhode Island. So, as we know, if Americans watching, small state in the US, we lived there our whole lives, and they just got to the point that they were like, let's make the move. My mom obviously has her family in Spain. So, my immediate family made the move a year before I did. So, of course, I was left in the US, and I have my dad's side of the family there, and I had a job there. But obviously something felt like it was lacking, and it was definitely having my immediate family close by. And I think you also reach a point in your life where sometimes you realize, like, I need to change, I need to do something because I feel kind of stuck. So I think that was the biggest push, but I'm definitely not someone who likes change. So it was very difficult for me to kind of rip the band-aid off and say, all right, let's do it. But very happy with the move. And looking back, I'm like, I'm just so proud of myself for pushing myself and saying, no, you have to do it because you need to change right now. So.
So, did you growing up? You said you grew up in the United States. Did you go to Spain and see your your mom's side of the family often, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so we would come. We were lucky enough to be able to come in the summer times to Spain and visit my mom's side of the family. My mom taught us Spanish at home when we were living in the US. She put music in Spanish, movies in Spanish, the whole thing. Would cook Spanish cuisine. So we were definitely in the culture while still being in the US. But yeah, we were very lucky and very grateful that we got to be able to come to Spain, sometimes even in the winter time for Christmas. So 1 to 2 times a year. So we always had that connection to speaking Spanish and being fully immersed in the culture, which was incredible.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But even going there, during winter breaks and the summer, it's still not living there, which is a totally different thing. So once you move there, I mean, what do you think the biggest adjustment was for you?
Ooh, I feel like there was a lot. I'm definitely someone who's in routine. Like I love a routine. I love a structure. I love like in Bo when I was living in Boston, where to get my it's little things, where to get my coffee, where to work out, where to I don't know, just things like that. So I feel like moving, the biggest thing, honestly, my friends, I think making friends here, at first, definitely a little bit of a struggle. Just kind of you're coming into a whole new world and a lot of people already have their groups of friends. So I'd say that was the biggest struggle and kind of finding that structure and routine of, again, places that I like to go to, or I know this area well, or I know that area better. So just a process that everybody has with moving to a new place.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Do you think kind of having that background of already knowing Spanish, already have been there before? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but do you think it helped you when you finally made that move?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of people, especially I'm living in such an international city, there's a lot of people living in Madrid that are from the US, London. So there's a lot of English speaking people, but I do think that being used to the culture and the language, I mean, it was a huge help. I mean, communicating, again, the rhythm of life is very different from US. So just being familiar with that definitely made it a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, I said the hardest question, but I'm gonna throw one at you that make you pick sides. Not really, but the only I've been to Spain once. The only time I've been to Spain was Barcelona. Why is Madrid better than Barcelona?
Oh, so this is hard because I've never been to Barcelona. It's a place that I need to go to because being half Spanish, I'm like, how have I never been to Barcelona? But in my opinion, Madrid is literally like the best city in the world, I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't know enough of the world to really say that, but I think it's the culture, Spanish culture is amazing. I don't know, it's just a city that makes me, like as a person, just really happy and feel really like good and the weather's amazing. We don't have really harsh winters. Compared to Barcelona, I guess that's it's the same thing, but compared to the US, it's something that no winter, cold, harsh winters is great. But the one thing about Madrid that's missing that Barcelona has is the water. And that's the one thing that I'm getting to the point right now that I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a slight problem. But yeah.
Do you? I mean, I've been to Europe several times, and the great thing is everything is so close. You can, a train trip to a lot of different places. So it shocks me that you haven't been to Barcelona. Do you
I
travel a
know.
lot when you're in Europe, or no?
I do travel a lot, which is the crazy part. I actually just got back from Brazil a few days ago. So I don't know. I travel a lot, like Italy and Switzerland, London, but for some reason, Spain is a place that I still have so many places to visit because I don't know it well enough. And being half Spanish, I'm like, this should be like illegal for me not to know this.
Yeah. I enjoyed my time in Barcelona with one huge caveat, and for long-time listeners are going to get tired of hearing this story because I've been telling it for 6 years now, but I almost involuntarily moved to Barcelona because I was in Barcelona. I had just went to Lisbon, Portugal, and then I flew to Barcelona for the rest of my vacation on March 20th of 2020, which I don't know if you know what was
Oh,
going on during that time. So
yes.
that day, that while I was there, the second day I was there, is when the U.S. announced their European travel ban, and
Yeah.
no, all of us that were in Europe, we didn't really know what that meant. Like, obviously I'm not truly stuck forever, but maybe this trip is going to
Yeah.
last a little longer than I thought it was going to. Luckily, a lot of flights got canceled. My flight didn't get canceled, so I still was able to leave normally. Um, I was literally like a day before they really started locking things down. Like I came back into the US just like nothing. Like they didn't even really do anything different than normal,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it still created quite a panic.
Yeah, no, it's definitely during that time I was actually studying abroad. I was in college still and I was studying abroad in Italy. So I went through the same thing of you. I was like, am I gonna be able to go? I was still living in the US at that time, so I was like, I either am here permanently for a few more months or I'm going back. I don't know. So it was crazy time.
It was crazy. And the weird thing was, I went to the Barcelona airport way early just because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss my flight, nothing went crazy. And the people that were all like kind of huddling around the same area. Now, I was flying into Chicago. I'm from Indiana. Was a bunch of people studying abroad from Indiana University. So I was in Barcelona with a bunch of people from Indiana trying to get back. So that was kind of weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. Back, yeah, and people, like I said, people that longtime listeners are gonna be like, "Oh my God, how many times do I have to listen to that stupid story?" But yours, I haven't broken out for like a year, but you're in Spain. I feel like I had to talk about it, right?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I want to kind of get back to kind of the differences, the shock of moving there. Um, Obviously on your page, and I want to get to your page here in a minute, that you talk about a lot of the big differences and some of the little small differences, and I want to dive into that more. But just kind of as at a 2,000 feet level, what's kind of the biggest cultural shock or the biggest difference when you got there that you had to experience?
Ooh, the biggest culture shock. Honestly, I think the biggest one, I don't know if it was really a culture shock because again, I think growing up with the culture is like a second culture that I was growing up with. But a shock was that I felt like work, like a job wasn't my whole life. Like I felt like in the US, it was kind of like everything. Like it's a very just it's very different environments. It's a very different culture. So while in the US, I was just like it was always a job. Like I feel like when you met someone, it was like, "Well, what do you do for work?" And here, no one really cares. Like people are just like they want to get to know you as a person and so I don't know if that's necessarily a culture shock, but it was something that like, oh, like people are here like enjoying life and it's not so much that everything revolves around work. But it's just different, it's different cultures, it's different environments, not that one's good or bad, but yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. I've kind of dived into that before, but yeah, I mean, we are in the U.S. so kind of driven by, economic things that it's so ingrained, like almost just naturally it rolls off your tongue. Like, what do you do for a living? And a lot of other
Yeah.
places, that's almost intrusive to ask some people.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
All right, we're going to play our first game. It's called Rapid Fire, generally no follow up. It's pretty easy. It's just a segment that I ask you 8 questions that I have my own kind of strong opinions about, but I try not to say much about your answers. Are you ready for the game?
I'm ready.
All right. First one, you're in a hurry. What's your go-to fast food restaurant? Is what I say, but maybe I don't know whether you do fast food or not.
Ooh, fast food first, fast food. I would say Five Guys.
Five Guys, I like it.
Yeah.
You've only got, I got to switch this a little bit. You've only got €3 to spend. What are you spending it on?
Probably a glass of wine.
A $3 glass, it's not going to taste too good, I don't feel like.
In Spain, it will, no matter what. It
Ah,
will.
there you go. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
What's one place you've never visited that you've always wanted to? Is it Barcelona?
Could be, but I'm gonna say Japan is a place I really want to go to.
I like that. What's the most used app on your phone?
Probably TikTok.
Socks with sandals, acceptable or no?
Not acceptable, no.
Let's talk music. What's one song that every time you hear it gets you pumped, it gets you wanting to jam?
Mm, I feel like the Mamma Mia album is just such a feel good. I love that song. Anytime it comes on, I'm like happy, excited to be there.
Here we go again. Is that what you say,
Yeah,
right? Huh?
exactly.
On the flip side, what's one song that makes you just scoff and want to change the channel?
Oof. One song. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Honestly, I feel like songs that are just, I don't have one specific song, but if it's like just rap the whole time, if it's not like a song that you can dance to, I don't like it. Like if it doesn't have a rhythm. So I don't have one specific song I can think of right now, but anything like that.
Gotcha. Last one. What's one thing that you're holding on to that you really should throw out?
There's probably a lot of clothes. I'm very much so with clothes. Like I keep too many and I buy new pieces and then it's just, there's a lot of clothes I should probably get rid of or donate or do something with them.
Like it. That was rapid fire. Easy enough, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's switch gears to your actual page. The Little Wonder. You mentioned beforehand that it may change. Are you announcing any of those things yet, or just stay tuned that there's differences in the works?
No, so I mean, I can really, there's nothing really to hide. The username, I started it because my dad and I used to listen to this song called The Little Wanderer by Death Cab for Cutie. It's this band when we were living in the US, and I've been traveling so much and I was like, oh, I kind of like this name as my username. But now I'm like, I don't know, I'm going back and forth with just making it my name. So that's only the change that I really have. I also got these really cool like meta glasses, so I'm thinking about doing more point of view content with life in Spain, meeting people at stores, getting people to share their story as well. So kind of a shift, but continuing with what I've been doing so far.
Yeah, and just my own personal world of that, where it may make sense to change it, is my wife's Instagram. She has two Instagrams too, but one of her travel one is her name's Abigail, so it's Wandering Abigail.
Hmm.
And when she tells people that, you wouldn't believe how many people don't realize the word wandering with an A. They think it's with the O. So it may help you. I bet somebody has searched for you and typed in with the O.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. That is actually so true. Like people
Yeah.
thinking like, what is she wondering?
Yeah. But wandering is a different word than
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I don't think people realize that because she's
Oh,
always like, it's with the A because they can't find her.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what made you decide to no matter what it's going to be called, what made you decide to start a page kind of talking about your move and then kind of the differences that you're learning about?
I think so I've always been obviously on social media, like for just I'm in that generation, TikTok and Instagram. But I think I followed a lot of other pages that were sharing their moves, and I think there's a lot of Americans living in Spain, that were like their cultural differences or their life in Spain now that they've moved from the US. So it kind of got me thinking like maybe I could do something with this. And at first I struggled because I was like, I don't know, like I feel like this content is very not repetitive, but there's so many Americans in Spain or Americans somewhere else that are doing the similar thing. And so then I started to realize like sharing who I am of being bilingual and bicultural and coming from parents of different backgrounds kind of I don't know, I didn't think it would really do well, but actually a lot of people related to that content. So I just kind of realized like, I don't know, adding the humor, like I want to make people laugh. I don't want the content to be super serious. I want it to be relatable with everyday things in Spain or American versus Spanish, I don't know, cultural differences. But then again, like throwing in like who I am and how I learned two different languages, people can relate to that, especially followers that I have that are in the US who are trying to teach their kids two languages. So I don't know, it's like motivated me. Like I feel like I have a small community, but a community that's watching and that's really interested in my life. So I don't know, what started as such a small idea of like, oh, other people are doing this, led me to be more open with who I am and sharing who I am. And it's going pretty well so far. So it's great.
Yeah. So do you live I mean, you said that the Madrid is a pretty international city, and I think that your job may keep you online as well. Do you do most things in Spanish at this point, or are you still working mostly in English?
It's mostly actually in English. I feel like all of my clients are like London, Dubai, US, like everything's English. I do UGC videos and some have been from Spain companies, but still in English. So it's very interesting how, I don't know, I think I haven't put myself too much out there with speaking Spanish content. I do plan on posting more of that. But hopefully maybe I'll open the doors up to more collaborations when I put myself out there speaking Spanish some more, but mostly in English right now.
Are you speaking Spanish mostly in your day-to-day life, though? Do you go out there and speak in Spanish, or are you still like, I want to speak English? I'm holding on to it. What's it look like?
I think for the most part, I'm in English all day. I
Really?
mean,
All right, I
my
got you.
boyfriend's Italian, but we speak to each other in English because he was also very international. He lives in London, the whole thing. So we speak in English. And then where my family lives in Galicia, along the coast in Spain, opposite of Barcelona, the other side, it's mostly in Spanish. But yeah, every day if I go out to get a coffee and stuff, it's Spanish. But primarily it's in English as of right now.
Gotcha. I got you. I want to kind of get to how you grew your following, and it seems like it may have happened relatively quickly because I saw kind of in a pinned post you introducing yourself and thanking your 2,500 followers. That was only in December, 3 months ago. You've got 11,000 followers now. What happened? Did something go viral, or what happened?
Honestly, it's how I mentioned before, the videos of me. I'm trying to think. I think the videos of me speaking in another language got me, there was a video of me speaking Spanish because I think I was getting a lot of comments like, you're American and like, oh my gosh, stop posting. And I was like, all right, I speak two languages. So while English is the primary language that I speak, I was like, I'm doing this video in Spanish. So I did it, and I think my following went up a lot from that. And then I got a lot of questions and messages of how did you learn two languages? Like, this is amazing. So I was like, wow, like I have a lot of support from my followers on this. Like, while I was a little embarrassed at first to post it, it was ended up being so positive. And then I posted another video of how I learned two languages, and that also blew up. But I think while posting relatable content, and also like mass spamming my Instagram with reels like 2 to 3 times a day. It just slowly and sharing who I am just kind of blew up the account. And hopefully, I mean, I'm still small compared to other creators, but hopefully with time it'll get bigger as well. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And learning Spanish, obviously from a native Spanish speaker and learning it young does change things, I'm sure. When you go out there and get your coffee, I mean, do you feel like you have the accent down, or are they like, where are you from in the United States?
No, I do have like both Spanish and American accent, which is interesting because sometimes like I go out and I don't know, people are like maybe I don't look like the classic Spanish look. I don't really even know what that looks like, but I have bright blue eyes and I don't know, like my blonde hair. So sometimes when I run into people, they're like, "Oh, they speak to me in English," and I'll respond in Spanish. And I'm like, "Wait, you're Spanish?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, so I'm very lucky enough, thanks to my parents, to have accents of both, which is great.
That is good for sure. So you talked about um, kind of people giving you a hard time about not speaking Spanish, which we're going to talk about that side here in a second. But I want to ask you, now that you've created that page and been able to kind of share your story, share your life, and share those experiences, what's been the most rewarding part of it? Definitely now that you're growing that following.
I think honestly it's opened like different paths of new opportunities and like jobs, I guess. Like the UGC stuff, like I have a lot of brands that I'm working with that I do videos speaking for, like just marketing their content. Which I never thought I would ever do. I used to be a teacher, so like complete switch up of of what I'm doing. But I like to talk, as you could probably tell. I love talking. I love socializing. I love meeting new people, and then mix that with social media. So it's bringing something that I like to do and that I would say I'm relatively good at, and actually like seeing that there's opportunities and jobs, just putting myself out there. So I think that's been the most rewarding thing that's come from this.
So I didn't even really ask you that because I didn't know your age and wasn't going to ask. So I didn't know whether you had a career before you moved, but you left a career to make this move.
Yeah, well, so I was a teacher in the US, and then when I made the move, I was still a teacher. I taught in Madrid as well. And then I started to overlap it with some part-time social media management. And then from there, that's when I kind of started the page, the little wander on Instagram and on TikTok. And I started posting more about my travels and et cetera, et cetera. And then I realized like, wait, I think I could take this like more full time. Like if I really put my heart and soul into it, kind of like learn more about social media management, learn more about social media. And that's all honestly ultimately how I ended up here, which is crazy.
Oh, that's awesome for sure. And you mentioned, you have a rapidly growing page, but it's not huge yet. So maybe you don't have to deal with as much of, the non-fun parts. But so far, what's been, we talked about the fun parts. What's been the things that maybe you encountered that you're like, I wasn't really expecting that, and that kind of is no fun.
Oh, with social media, I mean, there's so much that comes with social media that's also such cons to it. I would say it's hard. I feel like a lot of my, especially on TikTok, a lot of my posts were controversial in some way. Like I would give my opinion on these are things that you can find in a Spanish grocery store, let's say you can't find in an American grocery store, right? And of course, makes sense. You could probably find it in a small grocery store in the US, but my perspective was at Stop and Shop or the big ones, you know what I mean? So I think I would get backlash for it, like clearly you've never stepped out. I don't know, just negative feedback, like commentary. And that's something that I think it's something I'm learning, but I take people's opinions a little too seriously sometimes. So it's something that I'm learning to kind of let go. There's always going to be negative comments on any sort of social media. There's people who just do it. I don't know, because it's the best thing they have to do all day is just to be down and negative on you. But it's something I'm still learning to kind of separate because I think while it looks all beautiful and like, wow, these videos are great from the other side, I mean, I'm so small. I can't even imagine the big creators, like all the negative they get too. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, you kind of have given us snippets throughout our conversation, but if people do check out your page, follow along, what kind of content should they expect?
Honestly, it's kind of just everything with my life from my move. I'm in my late 20s, so kind of figuring out life. I'm working online now. Again, it's like a whole new career path. So while I don't share much about that, I also plan on doing that as well because I think a lot of people switch career paths. And I think while it's so scary to do, it's also so normal and so okay and can truly be one of the best things you do. So sharing more about that, life in Spain. I'm traveling a lot, so a lot of travel videos, but also relatable content, especially mid or late 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, but I try to get all ages in there. So,
Yeah, which is my same age bracket. So this is just a side note. When I'm talking to people, how I can normally tell somebody I don't after 25, I can't ever figure it out, but how I can tell somebody's over 25, do you want to know what it is? It's a really silly thing.
go ahead, I'm interested.
In that rapid fire, when I say when I ask the question about, what's one song that you hear that you scoff at and immediately want to change the channel, apparently you're old if you change channels. People don't change channels anymore. So people have
Oh,
all the young 20 under 25-year-olds have made fun of me for like saying change the channel because
oh
obviously,
no.
you're doing, Spotify, you're not changing
Yeah,
channels anymore. So yeah, if you don't make fun of me
I
about
understand.
changing channels, yeah. 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 Um, we I just had a call back to the last game. Let's play the second one. All right.
Okay.
All right. So this next one's called Podcast Realities. I just switched it up, so it's a little clunkier, the intro,
Okay.
but this segment of the podcast is where we realize that we're really showing very little of the environment. So, and sometimes, I've had people that have taken advantage of that limited view. So between people having their phone propped up on iPhones, keeping their cat off of their keyboard, or dress shirt on top, pajama bottoms, it's always funny to know exactly how I'm meeting people for the first time. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. We're going to start off relatively easy. They're going to get slightly more intense. Nothing too crazy, but of course you can pass on any of them. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So how are you joining us today? Is it from your phone, from a computer, what?
I'm on my laptop.
Sometimes people get all dressed up and have these amazing backgrounds. Then I have to break the news that I only have small reels, so it doesn't really matter exactly what people are looking like. So how much prep went into getting your outfit together, getting your background together, or did you just jump on and say, "Oh, I forgot I had an interview today"?
No, I actually gave it some time today. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put some makeup on. I'm gonna like put a nice. I'm wearing jeans. I mean, so I'm like, I'm not even in sweat. I was wearing sweatpants earlier. So I did. I put some effort into it.
Not to be outdone by our babbling, is there any animals that didn't get the 15 minutes of fame in the room?
Any animals? No, there's no animals with me right now.
All right. So you already kind of answered the second one, but this next question, I always joke in the intro about having pajama bottoms on, but I do leave it to TMI. I don't really ask if people are wearing pants. We know that, but did you come to our first chat wearing shoes or at least a fancy pair of fuzzy slippers?
Oh no, I'm barefoot right now. No shoes at all.
It's our first meeting.
I
No,
know that probably would have been.
I'm just kidding. That's most people. That's if the question was but the thing I'll say about that is people always say that and I kind of scoff, but it's really a joke.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, are you?" I always
Oh,
always put on a pair of shoes just so people
you're
can't
ready
catch
to
me.
go.
Yeah. Don't in this last one. I'm not going to ask for proof, so don't worry. But if you had to do a 360 with your camera, are you at all embarrassed by how tidy the room is?
No, actually, which is shocking because yesterday or maybe earlier today I would have.
Gotcha. Very good. That's the whole thing. That's pretty easy too, right? Even though I kind of
Yeah.
clunked my way through it, I only changed slight words, but just slight words throw me off apparently.
No, that was great.
All right. We're going to kind of in wrapping things up, I want you to kind of to speak to the listener. Of course, your whole Instagram presence or TikTok presence and all of that is all about kind of teaching people about differences in culture and then also making moves themselves. I don't want to the bulk of people aren't going to be making a move to another continent. So let's kind of just leave it as something bigger. What do you say to people wanting to make a large change in their life?
I would say exactly what I would have told myself if I could go back is do it as afraid and nervous as you are and as like if you might feel like you don't have it figured out and that's totally okay. I didn't have it figured out either, but if you're feeling like there needs to be a change in your life or you feel like you feel stuck or it's just something that's been in the back of your head, do it. You won't regret it. And I always try to remind myself, especially at the beginning, I can always go back. It's going to be kind of a pain to figure it out, but I can always, always, always go back. So definitely do it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So you're talking about always being able to go back. Do you see this as I guess a forever thing? Are you forever Spanish now?
I would say as of right now, I don't have any idea of going back. I mean, obviously to visit, but to move, I think there's other places in Europe I would move to first and test out and see. But as of right now, not going back.
Gotcha. So because of that, you got a lot of time to create new content and new kind of experiences there. So what do you think the future holds for you in the world of content creation?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like every day I'm coming up with new ideas and new things I want to do. I think the Meta Glass is a really cool thing. I'm really excited to kind of use more. I mean, I got it a week ago, so but I think I realized like how many people are out there that like want their story told as well. So even in Brazil, I was using them and meeting people from everywhere, and they were sharing what they do, or I'm from here, and they were more than happy to share that with me as I was filming, and I was like, I feel like it's so cool sharing other people's perspectives, you know what I mean? While mixing it in with who I am still. I think that's kind of where my content's going. Yeah, because it's also giving light to different people out there, and maybe it's businesses that are small and don't have that many people, but kind of putting their name out there as well, and doing something good. I don't know, I feel like it's a good thing to be doing for others, so.
Yeah, I saw you on your page. You asked kind of your following how they felt about you sharing those kind of things from the meta glasses perspective. What's been the response there? People receptive?
Yeah, I think I ended up being like six people saying no, which I was like, honestly, I appreciate the honesty.
Mhm.
But then it was like 60 people said yes. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start trickling it in with the content I have from Brazil. But I always like asking my following because I mean, they're the ones that are looking at my things. So in reality, like if I like it, cool, but they're the ones watching it. So I think it's always to really good to remember who's following you, who's your community of who's interested in your thing. So I like getting their opinions, but majority was yes. So we're gonna push forward with that.
No, I think it's a good thing. When I saw that on your page, it made me think a little bit about in my own mind that the stupidity in my own mind where I have a somebody that I follow that's a comedian who's started this whole meta glasses thing, wearing it on their day-to-day life. And they post TikToks literally doing everything, taking their going to their garbage and taking the trash out, going picking up their stuff at Starbucks. I don't like taking my own garbage out, and I do not drink Starbucks. But for some reason, I just sit and watch their TikTok as they're taking their
Yeah.
trash out. So what I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, I feel like it's
No, it's something about I think it's like a new form of content that some people are kind of testing out, and I'm the same way. I mean, I watched this girl like eat breakfast, like eggs and bacon on her plate. And I was like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think kind of getting into the ground floor of it is a positive. Maybe the meta glasses thing is what's going to create that next 10,000 in a few months, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. If not, maybe I don't know. I feel like social media is always changing. You're always coming up with new ideas. So it's literally a day to day. Like, where's it going to take me? We'll see.
Sure. Yeah. So in wrapping things up, how can people follow along? Shout out all of your handles.
So I'm on Instagram at the Little Wander, not Wander with an A
Yeah.
specifically, very important. TikTok, same handle. I have a YouTube, but it's barely anything yet. Same username as well. But hopefully I'm trying to do some test out vlogging. I'm kind of testing everything out. So Instagram, TikTok, those are my two main pages.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
So that was Mercedes. Appreciate her joining me. Definitely learned a lot about, every time I talk to social media influencers, I mean, I learned so much about kind of just what makes good videos. And I think the key to that is not trying too hard. Now, that doesn't mean not putting a ton of work into it because people certainly do. But if you try too hard to go viral, you're never going to go viral. So I think there's like this happy medium of just pure talent. And I think Mercedes has that. So I wish her nothing but the best. I think if you want to hear kind of funny videos, but also some really impactful videos on kind of just cultural and cultural differences. You're really going to enjoy checking out Mercedes' page. Again, it's changed since the conversation we had. It's now ItsMercedesAna. All the links to that will be in the show notes. Go check it out. Go check out exactly what these videos are. I think you'll really enjoy them. If this is your first time listening, or you haven't already, go follow along on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. All of it you can find it at Not in Huff with Jackson Huff. On Facebook, all those things as well. Just Not in Huff with Jackson Huff podcast. Search it, you'll find everything that you need. Really appreciate if you follow along on all those areas. Follow along on Apple and Spotify as well, so you don't miss the next interview. Tons of interviews in the past with all kinds of different people, from movie stars, just had a cast member from Wicked on, to real crime. I think the word is true crime. Had on Amanda Knox in the past. So just some really, really awesome interviews that I think you'll enjoy. Um, yeah, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Mercedes for being here. We'll catch you next time. Take it away, Chris.
This has been Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join us next time, where we will interview another amazing guest who is sure to make you laugh or make you think. Or, hey, maybe even both. But until then, keep being awesome.